Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the 77th Scientific Conference of Students and Graduates of BSU. Let us briefly introduce ourselves. My name is Liubich Darya and my partner is Pismennaya Darya, and we are delighted to be here today to talk to you about the influence of students' employment on academic performance. Student years are the entry into adulthood, the time for new acquaintances, for gaining new knowledge. A lot of students in this period have already begun to think about their future, about future employment. So the phenomenon of a working student is becoming very common around the world.
Unfortunately, no information was found about the number of working students in Belarus. This is why we decided to collect the information about working students at School of Business of BSU. The results show that 28% of students are currently working and combining study. It was also revealed that fewer people work when they study in the first 11% and the third year, only 13%. The main reason why lots of students nowadays want to study and work simultaneously is to gain more money, 61%. The second reason is to gain more experience, 20%. And this reason arose because people want to develop themselves from different perspectives and take more experience from different spheres of life. And the third reason is self-realization. This reason is closely related to the second one, as students want to gain more experience in order to realize themselves as much as possible.
The relevance of our research work lies in the fact that many students have a desire to start working. As follows from the survey results above, the most important impetus in making such a decision is to make money. And this channel is provided only on a fee basis at BSU. More and more students are interested in earning additional income. Therefore, we decided that it would be useful to learn about the consequences of such a decision and share information with those who have not decided on this step. The aim of this survey is to identify how the combination of work and study affects the student's academic life, and whether it is true that stereotypes that students who combine work and studying need to sacrifice the amount of sleep and good marks in order to get more money. The aim is realized in the following tasks. We decided that the most effective way to realize the aim of our research would be to interview students who themselves directly combine the educational and work processes. The subject of the research is the working student. The object of the research is the academic life of the working student. After defining the aim of our work, we want to develop a few hypotheses, which we want to cover in our research work. The first hypothesis is students who combine work and study have low academic performance, and the second is that working hours can influence the amount of sleep.
We conducted a survey in which working students of different courses of our School of Business took part. As we mentioned earlier, the greatest number of them are in the second and fourth years. Only full-time students took part in our survey. 60% of respondents work on the evening shift after studies. The remaining 40% work on an individual schedule. If we talk about the number of working hours per week, here there is no clear and one-size-fits-all answer for everyone as well. Our survey shows that the number of working hours directly depends on the year of student study. The higher the course, the more hours a student works per week. You can see on the slide the results of a question about students' academic performance. 60% of respondents have good academic performance and study at 7-8. 30% of students study at 5-6. 8% of working students have excellent academic performance and study at 9-10. Most of the students answering the question about the time when they prepare for seminars and CIWS said that they do their homework in their free time, while driving to the university, during breaks, and so on and so forth. 25% prepare to their studies after all daily duties. The rest of the students do their preparation either during the night or before seminars. Thus, we may see that our hypothesis that claims that students who combine work and study have low academic performance is not true. We notice that it doesn't matter for students how much they work and what their shift is. They will always find a way to prepare for seminars and CIWS. Also, most students notice that their academic achievement does not depend on whether they are currently working or not.
We asked working students about the amount of time allocated to them to sleep. According to this survey, 37% of students sleep for 7 hours a day, 26% of respondents sleep for 5 hours, almost 22% of students sleep for 6 hours, and only 15% of students sleep for 8 hours a day. Students who completed the survey indicated that the amount of hours they work doesn't directly depend on the amount of hours of sleep. At the university, many tasks are set, because of which it is sometimes difficult, even for a non-working student, to sleep the allocated norm of hours. Therefore, we also refuse this hypothesis, because there is no direct relation between the amount of students sleep and the amount of their working hours. The combination of work and study either doesn't affect the amount of sleep at all or affects negatively, but only if you need to devote a significant additional number of hours to homework.
A conclusion was made that there are a lot of difficulties in combining study and work. According to our survey, the main problem is lack of time on personal life, self-development, rest, etc. Some of them notice difficulties in prioritizing, tiredness, a lot of stress. Besides, not everyone could find flexible working shifts. That is why it's very difficult for them to combine work and educational processes. Despite all of this, when we asked if students thought about quitting work and concentrating only on study, only 23% of students gave a positive answer. The remaining 77 chose no, and they had enough reasons for this.
In addition to the monetary side of the issue and practical personal dependence, students received a huge number of new, positive, and useful qualities. Among all of the most popular ones can be highlighted responsibility and time management, discipline, overcome procrastination, increased self-control, ability to distribute the budget, the ability to quickly respond to the problems and solve them, multitasking, stress tolerance, communication, punctuality, attentiveness, patience, planning ability, restraint, diligence, openness, mobility, understanding of the importance of things, perseverance, and assiduity are all the features that our respondent mentioned, talking about the useful qualities that they have acquired combining both study and part-time work.
Our survey shows that the combination of work and study is not the worst way that affects the student's academic life. As follows from the survey, all of our hypotheses were subject to refutation, and moreover, it was found that despite all the difficulties, a large number of respondents did not want to quit, but on the contrary, regulation by two processes allowed them to acquire something that is so important in becoming a successful person. And if you still doubt whether it's worth trying, here are the necessary tips shared by working students. Use planning apps and allocate time correctly. Know on which things to concentrate. Try to find motivation. Give yourself a rest. Determine your personal goals. Work and study with pleasure. Do tasks in spare moment and delve into the subject immediately in class. Find a job near the place of study or living. And final, but the most important, don't put anything off and never give up. That brings us to the end of our presentation. Thank you for your attention. It was a pleasure being here today.